Okay, so the iPhone 17 series is finally here. While a lot of videos are floating on YouTube, but we waited because on one hand, iPhone 17 is selling for 80,000, but even last year's iPhone 16 Pro is discounted and selling on 70,000. And you get the iPhone Air for 1.2 lakh, but then last year's flagship iPhone 16 Pro Max is cheaper and selling around 80,000. Like, the excitement for the new iPhone versus the old Pro on sale is so high. There are fights happening outside the Apple store. Like, come on man, don't fight guys. Itna bhi bada update nahi hai. But honestly, this is the most confusing iPhone buying season ever. And where there's confusion, TechWiser's job starts. So we are gonna solve the confusion here. This is Pratik, TechWiser. Let's Apple Inc. go. Apple Inc. go. Go Apple Inc. Now, before we get to the iPhone 17 versus 16 Pro debate, let's solve the first ever iPhone Air. Apple is calling their boldest design move after the iPhone 6. It's the thinnest iPhone ever at 5.6mm, and it's the only iPhone this year using titanium frames. Like, it looks very glossy, but this is titanium. And the biggest question is, how strong does this phone feel? Well, with the blessings of the OG, we even tried to put some pressure, and if you see, the phone flexes, but then you release it, it goes back to the same shape. It is quite tactile, and we even dropped it a couple of times. It survived fair and square. Now, the 17 Air weighs just about 165 grams, which is, like light. And your mind would get confused a bit, like a light phone with a big screen. It takes some time to getting used to, and Apple has innovated not just in the looks, even in the hardware as well. Like, the entire motherboard and components are included in this camera bump. Like the processor, speaker, chip, everything. And this bottom half portion is just the battery. Now, the iPhone Air has Apple's brand new C1X modem. This is Apple's second generation 5G modem upgraded from the C1. We did a speed test side by side with the iPhone 16 Pro Max on Wi-Fi. There isn't any difference in speeds. Apple claims this makes it the most power efficient iPhone ever made. And we are yet to use it and find out about the battery and efficiency part, but in the pursuit to make it so thin, there are 5 big cost cuttings, which is just weird on a 1.2 lakh phone. Like, the iPhone 17 Air is an eSIM variant only, and no one amongst us wanted to switch to it because eSIM locks you into a new device for 60 days. In our experience, eSIM hasn't been great. Like, in low network areas, it's less stable. And if you leave the eSIM part, another area where the Air is not stable is performance. It comes with the A19 Pro processor, but it has one less GPU core, and in benchmark, it kind of scores lower than the 16 Pro Max. In fact, it is equal to iPhone 17. And remember, this is a Pro chip with not so pro performance, and it does get hot, and it gets uncomfortably hot around this part because all the chip motherboard are fitted here. There is no cooling chamber to move heat downwards. In fact, we had to put the phone in the fridge in order to run all the benchmarks. And again, to maintain it slim, Apple had to put in a smaller battery. It has a 3149 mAh battery, which sounds too low for 2025, but we can't say much about the battery life as of now. We need to further test it and then comment on it. But Apple's selling a MagSafe power bank with the Air to compensate for the smaller battery, and after attaching the MagSafe power bank, the phone getting thicker just defeats the purpose of a slim phone. Now, this 1.2 lakh phone just has one speaker. The speaker here is at the top, and just to show, here's the sound. And here's a 30,000 Android phone sound. Massive difference. The speaker feels loud, but the audio quality is just plain bad. And the fourth biggest downgrade, which Apple lied about, is camera. Like, Apple smartly said, even the Apple website still says 4 camera lenses in your pocket. It's just 2 cameras, one main and one selfie. That's straight up BS. It has a single 48 megapixel main camera, and we click some pictures side by side with the 17 Pro Max, and the photos from, if you see, they are not that great. Also, what is not great is the pricing. This is nowhere a Pro or Apple's best iPhone. In BBD, you're getting the 16 Pro Max at 80,000, and if somehow you still want to spend more money, get the 17 Pro instead. This phone is only for people who wants the Apple logo but with a different looking iPhone. More of an Apple merch. And talking about the iPhone 17 Pro, here's the blue color variant. We couldn't get the cosmic orange color, and this t-shirt is cosmic orange. Seems like orange is bigger than iPhone this year. It's pure chaos. But there are 4 big changes in the iPhone Pro this year. Like, first of all, the obvious one. The biggest change has to be the overall design. Like, ever since iPhone 12 Pro Max, the design for almost 5 years has been the same. until the iPhone 17 Pro. So Apple after 2 years has jumped back to an all aluminum body. The real reason being titanium is not good at managing heat and you can feel the iPhone getting hot in your hands. But in aluminum, the heat won't feel instantly. Like every Android flagship does this for the god knows what time. It took them 5 years to realize aluminum is better than steel and titanium. But other than that, there is a massive change in the camera island design. It now comes with this rectangular camera visor. The LiDAR sensor and the flash is on the far right end. Now, in order to enable charging, the bottom portion here is frosted glass. This is where your MagSafe accessories attach and charge the device. And for the first time, the back also has Apple Ceramic Shield 2 glass. So those glass shattering events in the iPhone 16 Pros, that should not happen this year. Now, for the first time, Apple hasn't had a black color in the iPhone Pro series, and there are also very few color options. Like there are only 3 new color variants: silver, cosmic orange, and deep blue. And now all of this aluminum and all of this reshuffling has led to one big problem which no one talked about: weight. Compared to last year, the Pro is 7 grams heavier and thicker as well. I mean, I like thick, but not the phone. Second, a smaller but much needed change is in display. The display is the same 6.3 inch as last year. You get LTPO. It now comes with the new Ceramic Shield Glass 2 protection. Like it is supposed to be more durable, but we will not drop it. I don't know the pain that some of us had to go through to get them. Annual kidney jokes aside, you finally get the option to disable flickering, but how is that beneficial? So in a dark room side by side with the 16 Pro Max, the 17 Pro here has a low level of flickering. Now this is important because this constant flickering causes a headache or trouble in sleeping. And this was not expected from Apple. But kudos to Apple, they went ahead and gave the option to disable flickering. There's also anti-reflective coating on all iPhone models, but we'll come to this in just a moment. Now the third change is the usual. You get the new A19 Pro chip with upgraded 12 GB of RAM. Last year it was 8 GB. The RAM is increased specially for Apple Intelligence, which is not there yet. But the RAM is there in case it arrives. So just to see the difference in speeds, we ran some benchmarks alongside the 16 Pro Max, and of course in Geekbench the 17 Pro scores higher. Next we ran the extreme stress test in 3D Mark. This runs the phone's GPU in full throttle, and after the test, again, the 17 Pro performs better and it is much more stable. This is because Apple has added a vapor cooling chamber this year. Now, apart from the A19 Pro chip, there's also a dedicated chip called N1. This is a chip to improve the connectivity like Bluetooth, AirDrop speeds, etc. Now, along with the performance improvements, there is one major change in the camera as well. 17 Pro comes with triple 48 megapixel camera. Now, again, Apple did try to sell it as an 8x camera, but the reality is this is now a 4x 48 megapixel periscope camera. It was 5x last year. Now, we click some photos side by side with the 16 Pro Max and the photos look very identical. The skin tone and light control is slightly better on the 17 Pro. And finally, in zoom, you can at least zoom up to 40x. And again, I did this test. You can do action mode on 8x, and this is the screen recording of the camera app. See how unstable it is, and then you see the final video. It is really stable. So Apple has implemented sensor shift stabilization on the periscope camera, where the sensor also moves along with the lens to stabilize footage. And then there's also an 18 megapixel selfie camera updated with all the iPhones this year. We'll get to it again in just a moment. In videos, the 17 Pro Max adds ProRes recording up to 4K at 120 FPS. That's more for professional users. Most people won't need it. But what people needed here was a bigger battery. The 17 Pro now comes with a bigger battery, and the 17 Pro Max gets an upgraded 5088 mAh battery. Now, for battery, we are still gathering more data because the phone takes time to calibrate your usage and then give you battery backup. But charging is where there's a direct improvement. 40-watt fast charging gets you 50% in about 20 minutes. Still not as fast as some Android phones, but it's still a progress. But after all of that, let's come to the main hero. iPhone 17, which everyone is looking to buy. There are fights happening on the street. People are lining up in chairs for God knows why, because you can just order the iPhone 17 on Blinkit. But again, it is the green flag Apple should have given years ago. So this is the new sage color this year. And from first impression, it looks very, very similar to last year's iPhone 16. Same dual camera setup, same action button, same camera control button. It has the same aluminum frame. The weight is slightly increased from 170 grams to 177 grams. It again has the same IP68 water resistance, 6 meters underwater for 30 minutes, and monsoon adventures are covered. But the major change is on the inside. The iPhone 17 finally gets a 120Hz ProMotion display. RIP all the 60Hz joke, like finally. And I'm glad that it has the same display as the Pro series. It's a slightly bigger 6.3-inch display than last year. With 120Hz refresh rate, it can adjust from 1Hz to 120Hz depending on what you're doing. So you also get always on display for the first time on the base iPhone. Now the display has also gotten brighter on the iPhone 17. It goes up to 3000 nits. Overall, the display upgrade is significant. Also, it is the first iPhone to come with an anti-reflective display coating. So under strong light side by side with the iPhone 16, see, the 17's display is blocking out the reflection. Well, is it as good as Samsung? Well, Samsung is still better, but it's good to see that they added the anti-reflective display even on the base series. Now, the iPhone 17 comes with iOS 26 out of the box, and honestly, this is the biggest visual change to iOS in years. Apple is calling it the liquid glass design. Like, starting from the wallpaper, it comes with a dynamic clock on the lock screen. As I swipe up, it smoothly resizes to make space, and when I tilt the phone, my wallpaper gets this subtle 3D effect. Apple calls it spatial scenes. Apart from the looks, here are two very useful features I feel Android phone makers should also copy. So if I get a phone call from an unknown number, iPhone doesn't alert you directly. The phone will ask on your behalf to say your name and reason for calling. If the purpose is legit, then your iPhone rings, else the call gets rejected. So a lot of time it has happened with me that a spam call came and I wasn't alerted at all. Later when I opened the phone app, I see a missed call with the summary of who called. And just beside the transcript, the emotion is also written. Like, for spam call, this is super good. But when I order food from Bistro, the delivery call guy was also not alerted. It counted that as spam. So it should get better with time. Now, this feature is there in Google Dialer, but it is only restricted to USA. Another helpful feature here is Hold Assist. So let's say I have to call customer care. They put you on a queue for a long time. So instead of listening to it till your number comes, just tap on this More option and tap Hold Assist and put your phone down. Now, when your turn comes up and the executive speaks, you will be alerted with the transcript and then you can continue the call. Another upgrade in the base iPhone 17 is the cameras. The iPhone 17 has 48 megapixel main camera and 48 megapixel ultra wide angle camera. We clicked some pictures with it and they do look good. It doesn't have that yellowish color on human photos. Now, the selfie, it comes with an 18 megapixel selfie camera. You get this on all the iPhone 17 series. Now, generally camera sensors are rectangle, but this here is a square sensor. So normally when you're taking a selfie, you hold the phone like this, but when you're taking a group fee, ideally you turn your phone around like this. But with the iPhone 17, you don't have to. I can tap here and it takes a horizontal photo without you holding the phone horizontally. Even if you see and zoom in, there is a good amount of detail as well. Now, the catch here is the default vertical selfie is 7 megapixel, it's cropped, and this horizontal group selfie is full 18 megapixel. Now, in terms of performance, the iPhone 17 comes with the A19 chip with 20% faster GPU performance than last year. So we ran some benchmarks in Geekbench and 3D Mark. The iPhone 17 performs slightly better than the 16 Pro and the iPhone Air as well. Again, isn't the Air supposed to be better cause of the Pro chip? But keeping that aside, on the iPhone 17, the temperature goes crazy. It went almost 46 degrees. In fact, when we went outside to take photos with the iPhone 17, you could see the phone got so hot that the camera viewfinder was jittering, and see, it's just weird. Now, Apple did add a vapor cooling chamber on the Pro series, but there's nothing on the base and it does get hot. So overall, if you're confused between iPhone 17 and iPhone 16 Pro, let me clear it for you. With 16 Pro, there's of course the Pro looks, titanium frame, but more importantly, you get one extra 5x telephoto camera. You'll get Apple ProRes to record raw videos. There's also USB 3.0, so you can record videos directly to the SSD. You will love it if you are a video content creator. Also, the iPhone 16 Pro has one extra GPU core, so it should do better in those AAA games, but performance more or less is the same. Whereas on the iPhone 17, you will get all of this. And the biggest upgrade is storage. The 16 Pro has 128 GB storage, whereas the iPhone 17 has 256 GB storage from the base. So you need to count 10,000 extra on the Pro to get the same storage. So most 90% of the people should get iPhone 17. Now finally, to the conclusion. See, in this sale, if you really want to get the iPhone, please ignore the iPhone 14, 15 and get the iPhone 16. Don't get tempted by the lower prices of the 14 and 15. Rest for the iPhone 17 series. Finally, I feel the base version is somewhere at par with Android flagships at that price. iPhone 17 is the default iPhone someone wants to buy. Apple should have given these upgrades 2 to 3 years ago, but happy that finally these are there now. This would be the most selling iPhone even in India for this year. Now, let us know which phone do you want us to compare with. Let us know which iPhone 17 variant we should make a long-term video on and which one to compare with. On that note, this is Buddy signing off. See you in the next video. Pew pew.